Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is a second session of Sword Opera, which is a game that, as of this play and until I think the beginning of the week of the 10th, the week of like February 11th of 2025, is on Kickstarter. And it got a nice shout out from John Harper today on Blue Sky, so that's good to see. They're very close to funding. This is a Fortune Tark uh, game that intends to emulate sort of melodrama and violence and action. The main one that we're playing in is our San Mercutio kind of Shakespeare meets Three Musketeers setting. They've also got some other things for like John Wick style settings and things like that. And this very much overlaps with the kind of the edge of wuxia for me. And they've done a great job with it. I think it's a game. I've already backed it, and that's why I'm running it because I backed it because I want to make sure it goes. So I do lean into these things. So we are continuing from last time where we did a sort of setup session zero, where we built our paragons and we did a little bit of work to develop our underworld and our particular circle, which is the family, our Capuletti family that our group belongs to. We did some building on that. We did a little mission segment where we got out and there was a vampire. And that's what happened there. Uh, Before we go too much further, just to remind everyone, we are using a layered set of safety tools. We have hard lines on the following things: dental horror, graphic gore, homophobia, racism, sexual assault, torture by the PCs, and transphobia. And then veils for eye injury, harm to animals, sexual content, and suicide, just to remind us of where we're at. If this were an ongoing thing, I would stop reminding us at the beginning of every session, but two shots want to do that. So we're going to today kind of regroup our characters, debrief from the action of last time, and then we're going to move into what is called the Paragon phase. And in the Paragon phase, you essentially we go around and we call sort of character scenes for characters working on their goals, looking into their goals, either their personal goals or the goals of an ally or the goals of the circle as a whole. We kind of go around and do those. And those are segments where we play, and those may go to roles as well within that. There may be actions that are taken within it. Also, within that Paragon phase, there are things called vignettes, and everybody gets two of these. It's a little bit like we're throwing our downtime phase actions into the kind of the play phase. Basically, you can do a little quick little scene. None of these are rolled scenes. These are just things that happen where you go and ask for an asset, like a group of people or a contact or an item or things like that. Or you can unwind and clear your stress tack. Or you can recover, which is clearing harm. You can use a contact, either one that you personally have or one that the circle has to do something. Or you can train. Uh, Basically, a training vignette is if you have a full track, you would get an advance. Otherwise, it's just one XP. And I'm just telling you this, not necessarily when it's going to hit today, but just to tell you what the mechanic of that is. So we kind of play that, and we'll throw some other things into the mix, give us a chance to NPC scenes, see a little bit more of the world. Eventually, we'll get to a circle phase, which kind of pulls us up a level. We look at the business of the circle. We look at any entanglements that are going on. We play out a little bit of scenes of the family as a whole, and then we kind of have a chance to assign people to different holdings and things like that. But that's what we're going to play. We're going to see what we get to today. This is the second session. It is a game that definitely feels like it has a good, build up, and the play will open up over time and develop. So we're just getting a little bit of a taste of that today. Uh, I want to have, though, with our paragons, go again and give the elevator pitch on who you are to remind us of who your characters are and your pronouns. And so we're going to go around. And this time, first chair goes to the disaster. So would uh, please, Laura, would you introduce your character? Elevator pitch.
Sure. This is Val or Valencia, if you're being formal. Um, they are a hotshot swordswoman from the academy who takes big swings, and they always pay off because she's so lucky, and that never backfires ever. Uh, and yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And you just have a little stretch. You didn't take any harm last time.
Not last time.
Yep.
It's we're
We'll see what happens.
yeah.
Uh, Giselle.
Hi, I'm Jolene. I'm playing Giselle. She is the guide, and what that means, she's basically like servant. She's there to try to make sure the others don't screw things up too much. Maybe one person specifically.
Okay.
The others seem to be okay. One of them seems to be okay.
Excellent. And you've got a level one harm. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
Just a minor battering. That is good. Next is the Ruthless. Ooh, I like Lysandro's picture there.
It's one of yours from your Pinterest board.
Yeah, so I do like it.
Thanks.
I like it doubly because I found it, so that's great.
Lysandros is a vindictive guard of the House Capuletti, looking to exact revenge against the Montecchi family for their wrongs against my people. They are 28, androgynous, and a secret weapon of the Capuletti.
Excellent. And last but not least, Evander.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm playing Evander. He is the analyst of the group. He formerly an outsider. He's more of a younger upstart who's trying to prove himself to the family. It's going okay so far. He has a particular gift for uh magics that he's trying to keep on the down low so he looks smarter than your average Joe over here.
I dig it. I dig it. We take up, it's probably the wee hours of the morning when the group of you have returned back to the Castle Capuletti, the stronghold there, and have brought back the two tween girls who or sorry, Capper is they them and Vinitha is she her, but you brought back the two tweens and they are still shaking with terror, I think, at this point. And I think anything that you have said to them, either comforting or berating, has kind of washed over them, and they're kind of still in that shock. Um, when you arrive back, you will know that your lord, Baron Venturi, is still up uh, and has left standing orders that you are to uh, come to see him when you arrive back. Let me ask a question to the four of you. Um, First, do you take the girls with you as well, or the children with you as well? The tweens. I'm going to try and narrow it down to what I'm saying there. Uh, that's one question. And the other question is, do you take the time to get cleaned up, or do you want to present yourselves as you are? Uh, what do you think, Val? Let me start with
Oh,
you.
Val's not getting cleaned up. We have to show the fruits of our efforts here.
Okay.
Definitely bringing the children too,
Okay.
unless stopped.
All right. Others agree on that? Val seems sort
Lysandros
of
would take a moment to at least get the blood out of their skin, so the clothing can look as bloody as
okay.
they want, but at least get it off the neck and stuff.
Okay. Um, uh,
Vander also is gonna take a moment to look a little more presentable.
okay. Yeah, you could little shaking around. And Giselle?
That looks mostly fine. It's
Okay.
fine. It's
Okay.
fine. This is more important.
Right.
He requested our presence. We don't keep him waiting.
And so you will be led back up into those offices we saw before. The children were scared before, but now they are petrified. As you do have to like kind of push them forward a little bit as they go in, and Baron Venturi will look up, uh, and he will very theatrically pull his false eyeball out, the one that's covered with runes, and put it in a box and put his more presentable one in, and look, and then he will point at the tweens, and he will point over to chairs off to the side, and they will move over, heads down, and will say, "So which of you would like to tell me what happened?"
I think Evander will just go into a brief play-by-play,
That's good because
focusing.
Val opened her mouth and then
Yes, no,
yeah.
Evander knew that, and he is he jumped ahead. Uh, the keeping it short to they. Sorry, I'm trying to remember last session. Evander knew what was going on. They had tracked the children down to have been uh whisked away by the Montecchi, and they did a combination of causing a distraction while the other half of the party slipped in to grab the children. There was an altercation due to the fact that there was a he kind of pauses.
Creature of the night.
Yes, unexpected.
When you say creature of the night, what do you mean? Because that could mean a lot of
Vampire.
things. Oh, oh,
Yes, I admit to have been caught off guard by the vampire, but it was swiftly
oh,
dealt with, and the tweens are uninjured. Perhaps in body. He mutters.
a vampire.
One who seems to have implied a deep set control in our friendly neighbors.
And is that vampire dispatched?
It is an
Yes.
ex-vampire.
Hmm.
It's purged, disposed of.
Decapitated.
Excellent, excellent. That seems reasonable. And it seems like all of you are relatively in one piece. He will look at Lysandros. Um,
Always.
no one was bitten, were they?
Evander is looking at Lysandros.
I think we're all looking at Lysandros.
Val is pointedly not looking at Lysandros,
Okay.
just forward. We gotta play this off.
Lysandros?
Is that a problem?
It's a problem if you don't answer my question. Was anyone bitten?
I was.
All right. Go and see Sister Illuminata, and she will check you out and clear you to make sure that there is no taint or infection. You can do that when we have finished here. This is interesting. It does coincide with some rumors that I had heard. I take it we weren't able to directly link any of the Montecchi to this. Were there any persons on the scene that were witnessed by outsiders involved in this?
Not exactly, but part of the way we infiltrated was to uh, make a kind of a little bit of a ruse to the mask seller, who seems to be familiar with Gino, who had come through earlier. We didn't see him, and I doubt anyone else saw him, but there might be one individual we can question on this.
Yes, Gino, I think we should definitely not leave the questioning of him to you, given your past experience with this situation. Well, I am very thankful that you were able to retrieve these two, and that you were able to dispatch something of a significant threat that I was unaware of. So that is appreciated.
My lord, he
Yes,
claimed that the Montachi works for him. Do you believe that?
I do not trust the word of such a creature. They are they're built on misdirection and lies, but it does suggest that there is some infernal dabbling going on the Montecchis, and that's the more that we can find out, the more that we can uncover on that. Um, her exaltedness will be having a gathering soon, and anything that we can pick up that we can put out into the ether, as it were, at such a gathering, uh, I would love for those rumors to reach the ears of Lady d'Aubain, uh, when that happens. So you all have your leisure to recover, to carry out your tasks as you will. With the exception of you, Lysandros, you go from here to the church.
Do you want me to wipe out every vampire in our way?
I don't think there are any vampires between here and the church, so I'm going to say no. We will discuss we will discuss the larger issue later. If they are if these things are tied to the Montecchi, if there are more of them, then we have to proceed very carefully. But just to make sure you understand my meaning, it is an opening and an opportunity, and I do realize that. So go and get yourself checked out first.
Very well.
And he will say, "Is there anything else?" Excellent. I will have the steward come in and take these two to get more details on how they were lured out of the household.
A fine idea.
And you
Foul
are
mouths, good luck to them.
tears are welling up in their eyes, I think, at this point, as you
There will
head
be.
out. The door slams behind you with a finality as you leave and echoes.
Mhm.
So what I want to do is do a once around and have you call a scene either with a PC or like if there's an existing NPC that we've got on the table that you want to talk to, or if you want to tell us about an NPC that you interact with, uh, either to gather information or to pursue your own personal goal, or to maybe pursue like the desire of the clan to find a leg up on the Montecchi, or interact with somebody that you think you have a relationship with. Any of those things we can do with that. Let's actually start with Lysandros. Um, Lysandros, what we have a fairy ring that is overseen by Sister Illuminata, our senior sister there. Do you think that the fairy ring is in the church or is it apart from a church? What
What
do
do
you
you mean by a fairy ring?
So basically, there is a ring of mushrooms, which is a way to contact the fairy realm, to speak with and bargain with them, that the your family controls. It is a kind of a place of power. Um, it's an important resource for the family.
So it's a ring as in the,
Literally on the ground, probably about
oh,
6 feet, a 6 foot circle of weird, oddly colored mushrooms, kind of in a of iridescent color, and there is literally a patch of grass in the midst of it that, when the ring is activated, will shift away to provide a communication with the realm of the Fae.
uh, probably like semi indoors.
Okay.
It's it has a cover with the circular opening on top, so sunlight could come through, shine on the ring on the ground, but it's not inside a building.
Okay. Yeah, and probably a little ways away from the actual sort of church that you have there. It's early morning. There's probably the early morning bells that are happening there. And as you come to the church, you will see Sister Illuminata is she's almost always there, no matter the hour of the day, and moving around. And she is changing the votive candles, and she will look up as you come in, and she will say, "I can smell blood on you."
Usually it's not mine.
True, true. Uh, Master Lysandros, why have you come?
Our Lord demanded that I get checked out for a potential taint by a vampire.
And how did this potential taint occur?
A disagreement.
Come and sit here by the vestry. And she will come over, and she will say, "Remove your neck kerchief so that I can see."
Yeah, uh, she does that.
And she will look, and she will go over to the holy font and draw a cup of water. And she will come back over and she will say, "This is going to hurt quite a bit." And
Not a
then she
problem.
pours, even as you're starting to say no problem, she's already pouring it, and it burns so bad. You can feel the where those fangs went in, the raw tear pinpricks, and it hurts. And it almost feels like someone has lit matches in there.
So
Um,
I suggested in the Discord chat that the way Lysandros refreshes the stress track is by like dissociating, like
okay.
having a different mental state
Yeah.
to deal with different situations. So here they checked out
Okay,
immediately.
they're gone. There is that sort of get that little flash of the matches, and I think there's a warm feeling you have. You're in your I don't think Lysandros has a happy place, but I think Lysandros has another place. Uh,
Just thinking
and
about past victories in
yes,
killing their enemies.
absolutely. And then you'll hear your name called a couple of times, uh, and Sister Illuminata is there, and will say, the bite is not deep enough or substantial enough to have infected you. I've put a bandage on this, so you should be fine. I will send a report to the Baron to tell him that you are fit for duty.
Thank you.
And technically, we're going to consider this a vignette. So this is a recover vignette, which means that you erase your level 1 harm, and your level 2 harm becomes your level 1 harm.
I can name it anything.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Uh, let's come around uh, back to, always got to get the name, Evander. Would you like to do a vignette to recover stress or unwind or something, use a contact, or would you like to do a call a scene with an NPC or with a PC, gather information, any of those things? There is in the rules reference page,
Ah, perfect. I was gonna
yeah,
ask.
on the phases and scenes, which is that third column there, it kind of talks about what you can do under vignettes. And goal scenes are basically very open, like, is there something you want to do to pursue your goal or another goal?
Mhm.
Gather information, uh, talk to friends.
I think what Evander is planning to do is go back to the Phantom Market,
Okay.
probably in a disguise of some sort, definitely more dressed like one of the magical barkers that is present there. And he wants to kind of listen in the grapevine about if anyone spotted what happened tonight from their end. And also, he's interested in uncovering some. He wants to basically be able to start planting the seeds for our family to be able to take the Phantom Market so the Montechi can't do something like this again.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Uh, yeah, so I think this is that sort of very early, the first rays of dawn are coming
Mhm.
up. There are the stragglers, and it's mostly uh, the people sweeping up and cleaning up and dragging their truly drunken friends back to boats and whatnot. The only ghosts here are kind of ghosts of street sweeps at this point. And you know, there is the barkers and the people who've worked all night are seated around small fires and tables and having, their meal before they crash for the day.
Mhm.
Um, so I think this is probably kind of a risky standard action, kind of going there in disguise.
Mhm.
Uh, what do you think that you want to roll this with?
Um, I think it is a read. I would like it to be a coax, but I think this is a read.
Yeah, I think that makes sense there. Uh, you don't have any art dice right now. Um, I do think that you've chosen a favorable environment here. I think
Mm.
that makes sense to me. So let me give you 2 dice to roll that with. You can roll your dice at home, or there is a roller on the safety and resources tab.
Ooh, 3.
A 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that as you are asking around and talking, um, you will definitely get the sense that there have been some people here following up from what happened, and they have been talking about how the Capuletti attacked some members of the carnival and killed someone.
Mm.
And like there have already been people here who have spun this story kind of against you.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
think you would definitely pick up that like the circus here, the carnival here as a whole is kind of neutral, but there are clearly some people in the Montecchi pocket, like maybe at a more senior level. But I think the kind of cost here, the consequence here is there's a thing called the entanglement track, which is
Mm.
basically bad stuff for your circle. And so when we go to roll the entanglement roll during the circle phase, we add the number of entanglement boxes that are there. So I think the cost here is that I'm going to actually mark one of those entanglement boxes unless you would like to resist that.
Would make I kind of like adding it on. I think it makes
Absolutely.
sense.
Yeah. I think you are able to blend in. You aren't seen, you aren't spotted. You kind of pick up just that little bit of information. Maybe makes you a little nervous there. Does that seem fair?
I think so.
Okay. Let us come to Val.
Okay. Um, let's see. I had a few ideas.
Yes.
Uh, kind of interested in like a training sequence.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think so at this point.
All right.
Would be good.
So we know that the school is called the Rampart.
Yes.
Um, Tell me, what does the actual sword school look like?
I think it is very tall, like stone walls. Um, yeah, I counterproductive to them being round part, but I was like, I think you can climb up there with like kind of gaps in the stones.
Oh yeah, that might be a training thing. Like that may
Yeah.
be a ritual that there maybe is a bottom level for the basic trainees, and then
Hmm.
they have to eventually learn to scale this very sheer wall to make their way up while they're equipped.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Val is doing that currently.
Uh, Swordmaster, who's
Hmm.
there, the sword instructor who's there, man, woman, ambiguous. What do you think?
Um, let's do let's do ambiguous.
Okay, let me grab a picture here. Let's see. We can do something that's kind of put this here. A few of these. Of course, the problem with fantasy art is often it is very boobalicious. So I have to find something a little bit less.
That's okay.
Once I go down this road. Okay, here we go. So The sword teacher there, you know that unlike some of the other people here, they are a sword instructor that enjoys life to the fullest. So even at this early hour of the morning, they already have some kind of ale that they're drinking along with the brown bread in the morning, and they will look up and they will greet you. Do you want to give me a name?
Oh. Lark.
Lark. Lark is there, and they are glad to see you, Val. They
Mm-hmm.
will look. They will say, "Tea, water, a
I think
real
I'll have what
drink."
you're having.
Yes, that's right. That's how this works. Uh, they will go over to a cask and pour you a mug and bring it back over and set it down, and we'll say, "I heard you were at work last night."
I was. I may have dispatched one of our house's enemies.
May. See, you should say, I did dispatch one of our house enemies. When you say may, that makes me, it makes,
I wanted to tease it a little bit.
all
I
right,
wanted
all
to
right, fair
maybe I
enough.
did, maybe I didn't. I did do that.
Oh, good, good. That's what I want to hear. Excellent. Are you back in the Baron's good graces yet?
I think we're getting there. I think progress has been made. I'm still not allowed to be in the presence of Gino, apparently, but I did return some of our house children.
Good, good.
So he seemed j as pleased as he normally looks. He's a little hard to read for me, but
He is very hard to read for everybody, and that is part of what gives him the edge.
yes, it's an impressive skill.
Ah,
Glad I don't have to be the one doing that.
but it looked like you came away unscathed.
Unscathed.
Excellent. Well, let's see if we can remedy that. And essentially, they'll stand up quickly and grab up their saber.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Val has already drawn.
okay. Um, and tell me something about what we see here that tells us something about the school style or about your style or about how you fight as we see this kind of montage and exchange.
Yeah. So I feel like there's a lot of they're kind of up on the second level like balcony walkway. Uh they're making full use of the environment, every little chip on a stone, they're using that to get the higher ground
Hmm.
than fainting and going using some parts as cover. Uh, I think uh, Lark's been here longer, so knows the school a little bit better. So that's giving them an edge at the moment. But Val is looking for creative new ways to use uh, the venue.
Yeah. Tell us something about, I mean, you have your luck and you have a real strength in that adaptation, adapting to your environment. How do we see that play out here? What's one thing you do that maybe catches Lark off guard?
I think like sort of cutting the corner, like jumping between the open space where you would probably plummet to your death if you weren't doing this with utmost confidence and and charmed luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a you jump and it's just a little too far. Like you shouldn't make that jump,
Hmm.
but somehow your foot catches, and I think you do hear a from Lark, thinking that you were about to go crashing down.
You know, I
Um,
think it's actually her hands like she like sort of goes into a handstand type of maneuver
Nice, nice.
and flips back onto her feet.
And Lark will say, "Well played, well played, excellent."
Thank
And,
you.
they will sit down and they will say, "I will, if you want, I will put in a good word with the Baron for you."
Would you? That would mean the world to me. I feel like every time I open my mouth in his presence, I am reducing my, maybe lengthening the time that I am in this probation.
There is a rumor that her exaltedness to opening this gathering that she is going to have will be both courtly, but also that she is looking to choose a fencing instructor for her daughter. And there will
Oh,
be representatives from a number of the schools. And while it's not something that I would wish to do, because they don't let you drink as much over at the palace, um, certainly I think
no,
you could put on a good show.
that is quite the opportunity. Thank you for the heads up.
You're welcome. And so we do this as, do you want to do this as a training vignette as well? So we can mark an
Yeah,
XP on your XP track.
yeah.
Okay. Giselle,
That's me.
let's come to you.
All right.
What do we want to see you doing?
Um, Giselle wants to reach out to Lysandros. It's like, hey, we've got some time off. I've got tickets to this new show. You've been through a lot. You need to unwind. You need to relax some. Not everything can be. n- You
Yeah.
don't have to
So
be
let's do
constantly in
that
the.
scene.
Yeah.
Lysandros, where does Giselle find you? Are you on duty? Are you relaxing? Are you storming
Getting cleaned up
around?
after seeing Sister Illuminati. So
Okay.
probably out uh of a bath house if they have that
So we see the
there.
steam, we see your back, we see the glistening skin, we see the scars. It's very, very,
Glistening.
very wuxia. So we can just get one little glancing look at how hot you are, you know.
No, full of scars, man.
Okay.
Hey, that's
Hey,
hot for
that's
someone.
appealing
Yeah,
to,
that's
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
in this genre.
You don't get you don't get to say that whether that.
So Giselle, when you realize that Lysandros is probably not quite fully
Yep. Just
tired,
gonna
what do we see your
turn
look?
around, just face the other way. There's a little
Just
blush.
doesn't care.
Sorry about this. Okay. Right. Do you want to see a show? I mean, sorry. Look, we've been told to take some time off. I know that you had it pretty rough during that fight,
What are you talking
and
about? I'm fine.
you got chomped real hard, like twice.
I do not
You can,
consider
you
this
can,
a
you can,
chump.
yes, it's great that you don't consider that. But you have, dare I say, friends that care about you and your well-being. And we would like to make sure that the next time you're in the right headspace, you're not still hung up on anything. So I've got tickets to this new play. It'll hopefully, distract, help you relax some. Would you like to come with me?
If it means surveying the area for other
It does not.
vampires.
It does not. This is this is rest and relaxation, Lysandros.
Very well.
Maybe you could study any stage combat that happens. I don't know.
Stage combat is not deadly enough.
Well, it can distract. You never know.
You are making me soft, and I do not appreciate that.
Wow, okay. Hurtful. Um, you do understand that you'll be a better fighter with a clearer head, right?
My head is clear.
Andros?
Los Angeles walks up to you and just takes your arm, says, "Let's go."
You you want to put some clothes on first?
Like as they're
Okay, okay.
walking, like
All right. So
moving,
the beat
dressing up, and pulling
on
it.
this, like when they get in the theater, they get seated. The beat on this is that I don't know timeline wise, but the play is The Count of Monte Cristo, and then at a certain point, just like, oh no, because that's all about somebody getting revenge on a specific family.
Oh yeah, it's and this one is done in that kind of grand Guignol, or however you say that in French, format of just absolute stage blood and brutality. They cut out a lot of the interpersonal stuff and the exposition to get right to the fighting and the murdering. There, it's
It's
truly
just like
truly a dark take on it.
it's a total Arrested Development. I've made a huge mistake.
Dendros is like yawning. So I've seen this 10 times already.
Oh, wow. All right.
Right. I dig that. Do you think that is
An
this?
unwind or a
Yeah, like
recover?
I
I
like
don't
that
know.
as uh I'm good with either way for that because I do think that since you just have a level one harm, if you want to clear that, you don't have any stress right now.
I
So
don't know.
yeah,
No.
so you can do that uh and can clear that. Um, like what do you think the scene is as you leave the theater, Giselle? Are you are you
I
pleased? Are
it
they managed to do
like
this? Are you unhappy about what happened? What do you think?
Giselle's like, all right, I'm gonna help him get his mind off revenge, and then accidentally take him to see a show all about getting revenge, and then he just didn't care anyway. So it's just like, I don't get this guy.
What do you
Like I
think,
said, my
Lysandra?
mind is clear.
Yeah, Lysandra, what do you think your read is on why Giselle took you, and then what Giselle's reaction is as you're leaving the theater? How do you think Lysandra's reads that?
How well do we know each other?
Enough. We've been working together for a year.
Mm, I think Listen just knows Giselle wants the best for them. So it was all just for show, a front. Because Alessandro has to stay the ruthless one.
Is there anything that you do that maybe gives away a little bit that you do have some empathy? Is there anything that we see there? Maybe something that Giselle notices, or maybe Giselle doesn't notice.
Uh Alessandro maybe plays out the parts in the play that was cut out. That was actually not about revenge. I, as a player,
Yeah, right. No, yeah.
I
No,
don't
you
know
you you
that
you say, oh, they took out the
story.
monologue where
Okay.
he goes back and meets his wife, or the one where he goes back and meets
Was
his
there
son.
anything in it that would have pleased Giselle? Like a romantic scene, let's say. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
Sure.
that,
The reunion between the person seeking vengeance and his wife.
yeah, uh, they just do a monologue of a segment of a scene that you, Giselle, might have enjoyed.
Nice.
I watched them too many times. I know everything.
Huh. Nice. Uh, and as Julian asked me in the chat, I did say you would take an advance. So just 'cause we got just the two sessions. So you can add a dot in an action, either one that you don't have or an existing one. You can add a new special ability. You can add an asset, come up with a new one. You can make an asset notable, which means that it has more potency. Or you can add a new contact, basically a person that you can call on or send out to do things, that kind of stuff. Let's take our first break here, and we're going to come back and start again with Lysandros and do another go around here. So we'll take 10 and then we'll be back. So Lysandros, what do you want to do now? A vignette or a goal scene or interaction? What would you like to do?
Like a go scene, I think,
Okay. And what do you want to do with that?
to find either devise a strategy with Evander or just trying to find things to exploit.
Well, let's start with the interaction with Evander to kind of start this out. Evander, where would Lysandros find you in on the estate? Like, where would you be found? Do you have a magical lab or rooms or a garden? Like, where do we track you down to?
I feel like he is in a archive.
Like old records and sheets or old books? Like, what do we see here?
We see him going through old correspondence.
Letters, papers, things like that. Dust in the air, the shafts of light coming in through the window. You've
Hmm.
probably had to ask around Lysandros a bit to find out where Evander is. Uh, and Evander, you'll hear the boot steps,
Hmm.
probably serious and solid, that probably tell you even before they come in that Lysandros has arrived.
Hmm.
And you'll see Evander going through letters, Lysandros.
Is all well then? After your checkup, I mean.
Sister says, I am free of taint, so you do not have to be afraid of infection.
Congratulations. Mm. Yes, of course, that's good news, and I'm sure expected news. You seem like you could take a little bit more of a. It seems like you could take a little bit more than that to get you infected, I would suppose.
Yes, I've heard of have too thick of a skin,
Mm.
but that is not the matter I'm here for. I've heard you've been surveying the scene after what happened. What have you heard?
Hmm. Who might have told you that? It was fairly recent.
I assume that's your job.
Of course. It seems the Montecchi had some time to spin a couple threads while we were recovering the children back to the manor. Whatever happened is, of course, the Capuletti's fault, and they are dangerous and violent and yada yada yada. It was a little late to do damage control by the time I was on the scene.
Shall we spin one back?
Did you have something in mind?
I was hoping you would.
Ah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. I've been
You also have the arts with the magic if you needed
Magic is
to.
not a catch-all, and it does not replace skill or luck.
That's where the rest of us come in.
Hmm. I suppose it would take more than one person to start the rumor mill circling. Whatever would be most effective would be done building off of what was already said. Unfortunately, what any story that we weave based off of painting ourselves in a just light would be a little too close to home to a situation the Baron wants to keep close to his chest.
Gino Montachi tricked Val into a fight. Can we do the same back? That this is about them not reacting to the creature when we might have.
Hmm. I suppose leaking that there was a vampire in the Bontechi mist would not put them in a good light and could perhaps explain the battle that had been taking place. Yes, I think we can work with that.
Just let me know the role that I can play in this.
Hmm. Well, I have some contacts that I think can begin to spread. You don't strike me as someone who would be um particularly chummy with the riffraff. He kind of cocks his head, looking for a rebuttal.
I wouldn't say chummy,
Ah,
but I do have a reputation with them.
hmm. One of awe, one of fear.
I'll have to ask them.
Hmm. If we, if the story calls for a key eyewitness, I think you would be, uh, I mean, you have some battle scars to flaunt over it, at the very least. I We'll see how the story takes first. There's no telling what can happen when you start to drip feed the public information. The whole thing may, in fact, take a completely different route. I'd rather not send people with faces in directly until we know it will be beneficial.
I was impressed by your idea to go big. So if that has to happen again, let's try it.
I think there will be a time for uh big moves soon. He kind of smirks.
Yeah, Sandros says, just not.
Do we want to do a mechanical resolution on that? Do we want to kind of do an action off of that with uh uh
Strategizing
well
something.
well if Evander is doing an action, I assume what you've got is you providing teamwork
Mm-hmm.
as an assist, Lysandros. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah,
So if you mark a stress and Lysandros, you want to go out and try to counter the story that's going on,
Who is spending the
or
stress?
Lysandra spending the stress. Evander, do you want to do your coax to try and play against this?
I think so.
Okay.
And would you say the threat is controlled right now?
Oh no, I would actually say because they were have already gotten their hands on this, I think this is
Okay.
desperate standard.
Desperate standard. Cool.
You get to mark an XP,
I'll do it.
and right now you're standing at 3 dice.
Hmm.
I have lost track whether I've ever needed to mark XP.
You only mark XP when you roll a desperate
Desperate.
action
Yeah,
during
in the
play.
previous section.
They
Yeah.
definitely did the last session because
Yes, there were some
yeah,
desperate rolls.
Yes.
Once.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. There's at least one for Lysander's, probably a couple at least.
Our highest dice is a 5.
To 5. So that is a mixed success. Uh, I think I'm going to throw another iron on the entanglement fire. But I do think that you will like it's not that you gain the upper hand, it's that now these two stories have butted heads
Mm,
and they have kind of neutralized each other. They're saying they attacked, they're saying they're a vampire. Who knows? They're just noble families warring with one another, and I think that
hmm.
will push that down. Does that seem like a reasonable result?
I think so, and I think Evander's pleased with that result as well.
Okay. And so I'm going to mark another entanglement dot.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, let's do Val scene, and then we'll come back to Evander having you call a scene. Okay. Uh, Val, what would you like to call now?
I think Val would like to go do something with Giselle.
Okay.
Um, uh, really, she's gonna let Giselle lead. She's going, okay. She'll go in to wherever Giselle's at.
Yeah. So this is a good chance. Giselle, where do we find you? What do your personal quarters or office look like?
Hmm. Can it not she not be in her personal corner where she finds
Absolutely.
it?
Yeah,
Okay,
wherever you
so
want to be.
like
You set up the scene.
Giselle likes to hang out like because we've got under the underworld, we've got lots of like schools of swordsmanship, lots of training and competition places, and she's at one of the like I guess it's like a duelist ring. She's watching in
Absolutely.
the
Cool.
stands,
The
and
seven step store
she never
sword.
misses a fight of one specific person, and that is Master Paulina Mare
Oh.
of the Free Fencer Fechstuhl.
Yes.
It's German. I don't know. Fechstuhl. I
The
presume it's
the free
School.
fencers.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, she's a big strong lady. Uses a broadsword. So,
Yeah.
and Giselle
Almost a
never
claymore.
misses. Yeah, Giselle somehow never misses a match. It's just it's clearly just studying, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Okay. And then I think if Giselle's very focused, I can surprise her by
Yes.
plopping myself right down next to her.
Oh, at first it takes a minute, and then it's just like, why is somebody really? Oh, Val.
Val just gives a big smile.
I didn't
Enjoying
know.
your day off?
I mean, yeah, I thought I would take in some of the competition. So, if you're ever in a jam, I could help you out because,
Oh,
know thy enemy, right?
because you would know all of her movements really well.
I mean,
Moves,
that's
strategy.
her sword's clearly not as maneuverable as yours. So, yeah,
That's true.
sure, I could study pretty well. Why are you here?
Someone told me I could find you here and that you're always here when there's a match. So, um,
Did they now?
yeah.
And who would this be?
Oh, someone.
Right. Again, why are you here?
Well, I think I'm interrupting the very thing I may have been plotting to get you into, which was, um, I don't know,
Excuse me?
Giselle, I just wanted to
You're not
see you enjoy yourself.
you're not much of a plotter. You
I
do
plot,
realize that
I scheme, I scheme as much as the next person. I thought of this at least a day in advance, I'll have you know.
that's wow, so impressive.
Thank you. That means a lot, Giselle. Oh, I definitely would take it if Evander knew this about Giselle and told Val. That would be very funny. Okay. From the chat.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
hmm hmm
Little think.
You're just you're always helping us out, Giselle. I want to know how we can help you help yourself. What are your goals?
Uh,
Professional or personal? She
yeah.
kind of looks at the the match.
Of course, there's a moment there where she's in her corner and somebody's pouring the water on her face to cool her down. Of course.
Val goes, whoo.
Uh, hold up a sec. You got something. But yeah, that happens, and it's like,
Oh, perfect.
I look, it is my duty to serve and help you all. And
And you do that very well.
yes, and I'd like to keep my position, as it were. I'm sure I'm very appreciative. Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, you seem
Uh,
really appreciative.
it's just beet red. Val, what?
Have you ever been introduced?
We've bumped into each other at over drinks.
Oh, over
This
drinks.
is why everything was going. I was having such a nice day.
I just want to make your day even better.
How can you?
I don't
I'm
know.
afraid to ask.
I just think, if you take that leap, you might be surprised.
Um, well, we have decorum to keep, so they're technically a rival guild, so
We're not currently feuding with them. This is like
you,
building relationships between the houses. It's
right.
diplomatic.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. You know, is it, do you know much about the free fencers?
I've I've fought them a fair bit. They're fun. They're creative. I like
Mhm.
their style.
All right, well, if you want to help me out, then
Yeah.
go challenge her.
Okay. Is uh is she out of a duel right now? Is she like,
Absolutely. We'll say that there's
okay.
a break between rounds there. She's talking with some young admirers there.
Mm-hmm.
Include people that of course brought flowers that she kind of like puts them down, and
Mm-hmm.
things. And yeah, you can stride up. She
Mm-hmm.
will arch her eyebrow. I'm not going to do a heavy German accent, but I just want you to imagine that she's very tall, Germanic,
Nice.
a woman, and she will look and she will say, Capinetti.
My reputation precedes me.
We
Um,
have met
Mar.
before.
Yes. I hope it was a good encounter.
Adequate.
Do you want to a second
Was there?
round?
Oh, oh, you're here to challenge me
I am.
out of the blue. This is quite the honor. I understand that you are Master Lark's prized pupil.
That's right. You know my mentor then?
I know of them.
Mm, mm. Well, I'm here with my very good friend.
Ah, the lovely Giselle.
Yes. Yes.
She looks up and raises the sword and salutes you, Giselle.
hmm Giselle is quite an admirer, and I think she wanted to uh see how our skills measure up.
That is as good an excuse as any.
Maybe she's hoping to see you thrash me. Between you and me.
Well, then I will make sure I give her what she wants,
I will not make it easy for you.
and she will have you step out into the ring.
Hell yeah.
Um, and I think she's got a little bit longer blade than you do. She's a little bit taller than you, uh, uh, but she has been fighting several rounds. So she's maybe a little bit fatigued. So probably here on even footing
hmm
there. And we will see you step out.
Yeah.
All right. So Uh, tell me, tell me what this initial round before we get to the rolls. Like, she's got a long weapon.
Yeah.
She's solid. She's not flashy. She works in her line.
hmm
She's, good, strong, using kind of almost showing off with the
Yeah.
one-handed on the heavy weapon. And what do we see? Like, are you more fast or more
Oh,
agile? Like, what
definitely.
do we see?
I think it's mainly fast and kind of they're like little tests of how far her range is at
Hmm.
certain angles. Trying to suss out the the areas I can get to and what her technique is.
Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
so this definitely feels like provoke.
Oh, yeah.
So that is two dice.
hmm
Um, do you want to engage your miserable fortune?
Always.
Always. Okay. So that is three dice there. Um,
Okay.
let's have you roll.
All right. Five the highest.
Five is the highest.
hmm
Um, so I think that you have a choice here.
Okay.
Uh, you can take the loss and walk away with just a little bit of like a level one reputation damaged,
Okay.
or you can take the win, but she is going to get a significant blow on you, and you're going to take a level two harm.
Ooh. Ooh. Well,
And
I
you can
think,
certainly resist that level two harm, but it'll go
yeah.
back down to a level one.
Okay. I think Val would definitely take the harm
Okay,
over the reputation.
absolutely. So let's have you roll one die for
Okay.
loyalty for your resistance,
Right.
and then
Okay.
let's describe what this looks like.
Okay. Six.
Six, you take no stress. Where does she land the blow, and how is it glancing? Is it off the
Mm,
head? Is it a shot at the leg? Is it the arm?
yeah, yeah. Um, I think it might be the arm
Okay.
and the angle Val has it on. She kind of ducks under her own arm and like destabilizes the position.
Yeah, doesn't get the blow for the sword to kind of mark the point, but hits you, and you'll feel your elbow, and I think bruised is probably a good level one harm there for you.
Hmm.
And what do you do? Like, what's the touch? I mean, is it a knife to the belly, or is it up to the neck, or is it just a touch to say I hit? What do you think?
Mm. Uh, I'm picturing uh I think it might be like to the belly, like kind of from behind
Okay,
a
swung
little.
around, you've used your agility and luck, and
Hmm.
then there's that knife to the belly, and she has her blade up, and she is confident enough in herself that she will stop
Hmm.
and concede and step back.
Val will step back too and do a bow.
And she will walk back to her corner. She will look up at you, Giselle, and she will shake her head as if she's disappointed you, and you see her reach down to some of those bouquets that were given to her, and she will fling them up into the stands to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Val's not entirely useless.
And that feels like a good
Not
place to
entirely.
to,
Yeah.
to cut that scene there.
Hmm.
Let's step back to Evander. Evander, what do you want to call for this second scene here?
Um, Honestly, I'm thinking a scene with Sister Illuminata.
Okay. Um, do you want to see her in the church? Do you want to see her at the fairy ring? Do you want to see her on the grounds?
I think either the church or the fairy ring.
Okay. We haven't seen the fairy ring
I
in
love the fairy ring,
D
so yeah.
daylight. Yeah. So we see the sunlight coming in. I think we will see her moving carefully around the outside of the fairy ring. She has a silver watering can, and she has a pocket with some kind of dust that she is very carefully pouring over the outside of the ring as she waters. And she's, you can hear the Latin incantation under her breath, and she will look up as you come in. Um, you're a mage.
Hmm.
What is the sensation that you get when you're in her presence that is a little unusual, that tells you that there's something weird about her? Is it a sound? Is it a smell? Is it a feeling on your skin? What do you think it is?
I think it's a smell. It's a very someone of her particular cloth should smell almost like sage or rosemary or some other herb, but hers is more peppery.
Okay.
It's something a
Odd,
little
odd,
sharp.
yeah, sharp and spiced.
Hmm.
And she will look up at you and she will say, Magister Evander.
Sister Luminata, please don't let me interrupt you. It's delicate
I,
work.
I I would not let you interrupt me. Once the thing is begun, it must be finished.
He nods at that.
What is it that you have come here for?
I wanted to know if there was any word or travel through he kind of looks down at the ring and looks up and says, I suppose what you are doing is pertinent to my questions. How goes it here?
It goes well. We we speak with a version of Titania. She she trades with us. We gift her, and we we have an exchange. Was there something you needed from the other side? Some help, some assistance?
No, the opposite. Is there anything that I can do for you or your correspondence that you might want a discreet hand for?
Hmm. There has been a request from Tatiana, and I have passed it on to the Baron, and he has considered it. But one of Tatiana's children has asked to come over to witness Carnival,
Hmm.
but I have thus far said no, simply because it would require someone to act as a chaperone to a scion of the Fairy Queen. Perhaps that is something you would wish to undertake.
I think it's something I can undertake.
Can and wish to are two very different things.
It seems foolish to want to wish to put oneself into a position such as that, but I suppose I would not be here if it weren't for difficult situations.
Do you wish me to call her up?
You may.
And she will bend down and she will break off one of those mushrooms and she will break it into three pieces and she will hand one of the pieces to you and she will put one of the pieces in her mouth and she will throw the other one in the middle of the ring and she will gesture for you to.
Yeah, I feel like he could pick up on that.
And I think that it is one of those moments where we have some money in the budget to do kind of a psychedelic color temperature shift change there, a strange effect to show the weirdness. And then there is a shimmering form of the Queen of the Fairies. Uh, and she will look down and she will say, Evander, when did you get out?
Don't tell me you didn't notice.
Time is so malleable. I thought you were still a prisoner of Oberon.
He kind of smiles and he says, I haven't known one prisoner of Oberon's to remain as such for long.
Interesting. Why have you summoned me?
I was told that your scion was in need of a chaperone for a night.
My child wishes to experience your world for a period of time, let us say 3 days.
Hmm.
They wish to experience your world and be shown around. I've understand that Carnival is now, and this seems like a good a time as any. Would you be willing to vouchsafe their safety and show them around?
What calendar are the days by?
We will count from dusk till dawn, and dusk again, 3 of your days, human days.
Yes, Evander will take her up on that offer.
Excellent. Let me whistle her up.
I'm sure this will have no problems down the line at all.
And she will whistle up, and you will see this figure appear before you. It shimmers. And what form does it take that is made of heartbreak for you? What shape from your
Ooh.
mind and memory does it steal that appears before you?
Hmm. It steals the form of a young maiden that I never got to know. She was a florist.
Killed some time ago. You don't know the story, the details of it, but she is there in front of you, uh, and will step out and will look kind of to check her form, and will come over to you and grabs you and kisses you on the cheek immediately. And she smells so good, like all the floral scents that waft off of her. Uh, and she will say, I am Giles. Show me
Giles.
everything. I only have 3 days.
I think we better get moving then.
Okay. Uh, and then let's come to Giselle. Oh, we froze a little here. We'll see. It looks like I froze there for a second.
Okay.
That was me. That was me freezing because all of you froze simultaneously for me.
For a second, I thought you were just really dramatically
Really?
pausing.
I know. It's like, wow.
That used to be what when we were on Google Meet. It would be like every hour there would be a dramatic frozen moment. So,
Yeah.
Giselle,
Early days.
what would you like to
Yeah,
call for your scene here?
I'll try to advance my goal.
Okay. And how do you want to do that?
I want to have a meeting with, I'm gonna roll down, the boss,
Okay.
right? I think it's the boss. Yeah.
Baron
Yeah, Baron
Venturi.
Venturi. Yeah.
Uh, you will catch Baron Venturi later on during the day. Uh, they are in their office. You can see a tray of food that has been brought and untouched. There, the glass of wine has been drained, but everything else is kind of sitting there. They're going over records, and they will look up and they will say, Giselle, please come in, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
To what do I owe this visit?
I wished to discuss with you a matter I think you might not enjoy, but I wish to talk about Valencia, and I'm aware of some mixed feelings regarding some recent actions. And I wanted to assure you that Valencia is not to blame for anything. This was all part of a ploy to undermine the what's the other family's name? The
Monteki.
Montecchi.
The Montecchis.
So you're saying that if I'm reading what you're laying out is that Val's maneuver was a clever ruse?
I convinced her to give in and to lose that duel. Because then the Montecchis would underestimate her. They wouldn't know the true value of a duelist of her caliber. I mean, you should have seen her in the ring the other day. She handily defeated the Freemason or free fencer's master.
Word has reached me of that, and certainly Lark has spoken up for them. You understand that what occurred cost us some significant social capital. I'm wondering if the trade-off of them underestimating one of our fencers versus the cost of our embarrassment, tell me why it is equal.
Because ours is a long-term plan. We may have lost in the short term, but surely in the long term, you can understand that this will prove to be of much greater benefit.
I think that's bond, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, good. So I have a question about
Yeah.
what's the die value on inner circle relationships matter for?
So that is when you're calling on them for
For
resources, like when
Gotcha.
you're calling on them to help you out or to lend you assets or things like that.
Okay, cool. All right. Uh, so I got two dice. I think I'll spend art die. Use my power of friendship.
Okay. Do you want to invoke your asset?
But what does my asset do?
Oh, actually, no, sorry. Assets are used to reduce harm. I forgot that. If it's
Okay.
noteworthy, you
Oh,
can use it to modify stuff. Otherwise, you can use it to absorb a consequence. So that's three dice right now.
all right.
And that's your essentially your senses.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and again, you are calling on the power of friendship,
I
most
know.
literally and figuratively
Look,
here.
Val got my back, so I'm like, all right, I guess I gotta.
Okay.
There's a six.
There is a six. Cut the head off a vampire, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, she did.
All right. All right. I will grant you this. I hope that our investment in the future will pay off. I will be pleased if it does. Um, let us let us say that I will consider that particular stain on Val's record to be erased.
Thank you, sir.
Your friends do not know how good they have it with you.
That is the life I've chosen.
Excellent. And yeah, I think that you will absolutely be able to do that. Let's do one more go around, either vignette or goal scene, and then we'll see where we are, and maybe we'll kind of look at what the circle phase is about, and definitely get some epilogues kind of thing in play. Uh, Lysandros, let me come back to you. Um, do you have a goal scene you want to do or a vignette?
You what other options for vignette?
You could do something to advance your personal goal. You could gather information, you could interact with another character. Um, you could use a contact to do something if you want a vignette, or if you want to clear your last harm.
I only have one session, so
You could try to
So
jump
it's
the Montecchi.
still want to have an in first instead of just charging in. That's unwise.
So how would you set that up? Like, what would you do to set it up to get yourself in a position to be able to set up a duel or even an unfair fight?
Um, I haven't even decided whether it should be the revenge would be like a physical fight instead of just bringing down the Montechi in different ways.
So
Mm,
maybe you want to gather information?
yeah, it's
Okay.
probably like it.
All
So
right.
go to contact.
Okay. Uh, do you want so your contact is Kier there?
Yes, yeah.
Tell us about Kier.
So we have one of the options marked for theme, courtiers, and courtesan.
Hmm.
I figured this is an option to bring in like something about that theme. So here is a courtesan. I'm thinking like the companions of Firefly, that level of
Hmm.
courtesan.
Connected. Um, how you are you romantically involved with her? Are you old friends? Are you former lovers? What do you think that connection is? Were you childhood
It's
friends? What do you think?
uh I chose lover, but it's nothing deep, like not soulmate kind of love.
Okay.
It's I don't think there's another option.
Yeah.
So
I
this
like the
is
idea that maybe we cut away from the bed with you there and she is looking over and she says, "You really only come to visit me when you need something.
of course
So what is it
that's
you
what you come to me for.
we have very different needs, Lysandros. What is it
We all
you
have our ambitions.
my
I need
ambition hmm,
sorry, go ahead,
my
finish.
ambition will get me ahead in the world. Yours will get you killed.
We do what we must.
So what is it you need this time?
Information on the Montechi, as I always do. I need a way in, not necessarily physically, if you know what I mean.
Let's have you roll me. Let's look at this is kind of a
Is it
fortune die roll for contacts.
okay? Sure.
You're involved. This is an asset. Da, 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 da. Do me a favor and roll me 4d6. Essentially, a paragon's involved. It's an asset, and there's a contact directly involved, and the situation is favorable.
5.
She will say, "You may have already heard that there is to be a demonstration of sword masters at the courtly gathering for her exaltedness. There is currently a set of tension between Riga Montecchi and Gino of the Montecchi as to who has the right to demonstrate. D'Aubain doesn't want the sword masters, the teachers. She wants to see those who have been trained by the teachers to find a personal trainer for her daughter. Gino and Riga both want the position. And it is said that they have very nearly come to blows about it.
So I just need to fan the flame a little bit.
Perhaps I it is not perhaps as detailed or full a set of information as you would have wished, but it's what I do know. What is that worth to you? A kiss?
Sorry, out of character.
Absolutely.
um, hmm.
You can certainly fade to black on that if you wish. Or you can end on a clever line if you want.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a
Sure. No, no,
clever
no.
line. No, a favor in the court.
I will hold you to that, she says. I think we cut there.
Yeah.
Uh, let's take just a quick 5 minute. Then let's come back and we'll do just another once round and maybe we'll kind of look at what the circle stuff is. Okay. So take 5. And I am going to briefly here, I'm going to just because I want to show everybody this at home if you're watching the video. I'm going to show you the wonderful images that Wylora drew of the characters there. Really excellent. Really, really excellent.
Thanks.
I love that. Um, let's go down around and do one last kind of check in on anything that folks want to do. And then we'll kind of take a look at what what at least some elements of that circle phase. So let's come back to Evander. What we did, Evander, yeah, we did on that. Who did we end up? We ended up on Lysandros.
Yeah,
So,
Lysandro's just went.
okay.
Yeah, so that was the first of the new.
First of the ones.
Yeah.
So, Evander.
Well, he has this new project he wasn't expecting to have. I don't think it has to be a full scene unless another PC wants to get involved, but I
Who do you want to introduce? I think that's the really the key scene here.
mm,
You've made a deal with a magical deal with another noble house, according to your goal, in a lot of ways.
mm.
So who of your PCs or NPCs, who would you introduce this person to?
You know who's a safe bet? It's Giselle.
Okay. Giselle, where does Evander find you?
Oh, I think she's going over like a duty roster of, you know, something or another. You know, like sort of like the maids and this butlers and all, or not really butler, but that sort of thing. Like making sure all the household chores are being taken care of. I'm like, all right, oh.
And Evander will come in. He is trailed by a striking young woman, kind of in a like a like a flower seller's dress, like not particularly nice. But there's something about this woman. She's looking around like she's just amazed by this place. Everything's so solid.
Evander nods. It does take some getting used to.
How do you
Okay.
live in a place like this where everything is so unmalleable?
I tell
Uh,
you, you tread carefully.
Oh,
Evander, who's your new friend? Who's our who's our new guest?
I have a visitor here, a distant cousin, you might say.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
yes,
Pleasure to meet you,
what was their name
Ms.
again? Was it Jo
Giles.
Yes, Giles.
Miss
And
Giles.
she'll walk and like she walks around the desk and comes over and like goes to kiss you on the cheek.
Oh,
Hello.
so you're French. Okay.
My
Bonjour.
my companion here knows all the ins and outs of this house. So if there's any burning questions on your mind about how what works in front of the scenes and behind the scenes, or just what she does,
I
she's
just want
been
to
a
see everything while I'm here.
mm-hmm.
Well, there's rather a lot to see. What has Evander shown you so far?
There's a garden and a church. It was unpleasant and painful, so I stayed away from it. And there was some other buildings and things, and there were people, and they were talking and yammering, and they weren't important.
Oh, so not much, it sounds like.
Not much. You seem really important, though.
Ah, thank you, but no, merely I merely serve at the whims of others.
Oh, no, no, I can see the flame burning inside of you.
Okay, well, thank you. Um, how can I help?
I don't know. And she'll
And
turn
looking
to
to
look at you,
Evander,
Evander.
will Mademoiselle Giles be joining us for the gala
There's a
tomorrow
gala?
evening?
I was planning on keeping that a surprise.
Oh, well,
You know what, Giselle?
I think we would need to get them a change of
That
clothes.
is actually what I was just about to say. You're a bit more forward with the more feminine fashion.
Well, thank you. I do try to keep
Yes.
Would you
up
care
to
to
date.
accompany us on a small excursion?
It would be my pleasure.
Yes. Yes. I've tried to change these, but they haven't changed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I do imagine that we then get the shopping montage,
Yes, we
Yeah,
the
do.
dress trying
totally.
on
The
montage,
best makeover
the
montage. Yes.
twirls, we get the music, Brown Eyed Girl plays or whatever,
Yeah.
the right song there, as
Some
we
vitamin
do
string
that.
quartet cover.
Yes. Um, uh, do you give away anything of the game, Evander, to Giselle about what is happening here, or do you just let it play out?
We let it play out. We will talk to Giselle later about it.
Okay. Um, this is
No, I love this. It's just
yeah.
like, huh.
Giles
So
is
what
a
region
very
are you from?
strange woman.
From the country. I'm from the country, though.
Let's come to Val. Um, do you have a scene you want to call, or should we have the Baron call you in?
Oh, I'm up for that. I'm assuming the gathering will take place during the circle phase, or
We'll see what we get to. We may have to epilogue some of
okay,
that
okay.
bit there and give us a chance to do that. Um, the Baron will call you in.
Uh-huh. Val will go in a little more nervous than she usually is, which is, she's usually not nervous at all. So, sir,
Valencia, sit down.
she sits.
I have had come across my desk several letters regarding you of late.
Oh,
What do you think they've told me?
she's like racking her brain for like, what did I do? What did I do this time? Um, I assumed they were fan letters about my uh recent
Escapades? Is that what you wish to say?
yes, my recent face off with the master uh of the free fencers.
I had a letter from one of the seniors among the free fencers, uh, stating uh, that they witnessed an excellent display of swordsmanship on your part.
She like audibly exhales. Yeah, that's wonderful. Uh I
And
didn't
and I have a letter, though there are some beverage rings on it, but it comes from Lark, who also spoke of your skill. Skill is not enough. Swordsmanship is not enough.
mm,
But Giselle came to me and she spoke very highly of you. She told me of your stratagem that she had developed in engaging with Gino and how this all played into a clever long-term plan. Is that how you understand it?
I I am merely an instrument of her genius.
That is the correct answer.
Another exhale.
You may consider yourself off of probation
Thank you, sir.
and may resume your full duties. And I expect great things of you.
I will not disappoint you again, Baron.
I should hope not. I will say that a gift would not be amiss for your friend.
Absolutely. I will get on that now.
You are dismissed.
She gets out of there as fast as she can.
Soon, before you can break anything,
Yeah,
you are
yeah.
out of the room. And Giselle.
Yeah, right. What is ask for a favor? Is that when you're dealing with the
Basically, you could ask uh, uh, for either for this particular Paragon phase or for the next Paragon phase, an asset that you would like a company of men or
okay.
a temporary thing that you could use.
Okay. All right. That's not what I need. It's not what I was thinking of.
Sure.
I was thinking of like trying to do like an information gathering on like, what for the gala.
Uh-huh.
What type of gift would Paulina actually appreciate considering what everyone else is always giving? Like, come on now.
Oh,
People.
interesting. Um,
People.
yeah, what do you want to roll that with?
Um, I guess
Uh,
it
That feel
is
like read or
read
does it?
makes the most sense.
Okay.
Can I offer that we do this on the shopping trip and I can help?
Sure, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, let's have you
I only
mark stress there.
one die and read, so that's great.
So two dice there.
This ain't gonna be good. I got no arts. Guys, I have no one to take conditions for anymore. All right. Well, I got a 4.
That is a 4.
I need to take consequences for you people.
What? What is the costly thing that, like, something that is going to cost you some money. That's the sort of the consequence here is that it will cost you your ready cash. Um, and I think it's actually, and I'm going to let you finish this out, but I think it's something from her homeland.
Hmm.
Like it's something maybe not Marshall necessarily, maybe not Florida, but something from her homeland. So what do you think that would be?
Hmm.
Is it a signet or a marker or a piece of clothing or a book or what?
Oh, I like a book.
Okay.
A book seems fun. It probably ties into like the principle of some sort.
Okay. There are lots of brilliant swordsmanship manuals written from different regions that are also life guides and things like that are kind of, you know, tales and stories. So something like that. Does that seem reasonable?
No, I
Or
think it's like a German romance novel.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like a
It's like
classic 600 page long every couple of words is 38 characters long romance novel
uh-huh.
Blindespolen, you know
Right.
uh and it's pricey. Like you are there with
Right.
Evander and of course Giles, who is fingering every book in here. And do you want to resist that consequence? The
Uh
costliness of it?
what happens if I don't?
I'm going to put another tick on the entanglements as you kind of spend a little more
Yeah, yeah.
money.
Let's get the tanglements going.
Okay. All right.
This is the last session.
Yes. And it's a big, beautiful book.
Yeah.
Um, Lovely that they will wrap up for you. So we're
Have
going to go to the
some
circle phase on that note. We're not necessarily going to get through everything, but one of the things we do in the circle phase is we do stop off and check in with your goals. And uh, so what we do with the goals is we ask, have you engaged with it or have you completed it? Uh, so let's go around. Evander, uh, it feels like you've actually completed your goal you have right now. You've struck a bargain with Tatiana.
I think that's as noble as they come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what that would mean is you would mark 2 XP for having completed that goal. And then from that, you would come up with something you've learned, a lesson that would become one of those 3 principles that your character has.
Hmm.
Like uh, take up unexpected opportunities or be willing to dabble with the fantastic or something like that. And what that does is that's in your character and becomes another XP trigger for you going forward. So you kind of build those up. And even one of the things is maybe you failed at your goal. And if you fail at your goal, you still get the XP. You can change it to a new goal. And you would kind of write a broken lesson or a reversed or
Mm,
mirrored lesson on that. So I'll let you think about your
yeah.
principle there, but you would mark 2 XP on that, and then later on, probably the next session, we would talk about what you would put as your new goal there. Uh, Valencia, you have also completed your goal there. So you may mark 2 XP, uh,
We
and and you would also get to think about what principle you've learned from that. You know, uh, rely on
always
friends.
treat Giselle really well.
Yes, that is a
No, but yeah.
fairly concrete one, but I think that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. Or
Um,
some friends is a good one too in
yes.
general.
And then Giselle, you also completed your goal, so you would mark 2 XP. And you would come up with a principle, something that you learned based on that. Um, Lysandros, while you didn't like complete the revenge that you sought, you definitely worked towards it, right?
Yep.
So you would get to mark an XP for that. So that's sort of the first thing. I think there's some other end of session XP things, but I we're not going to worry about that right this second. Um, the next thing is the classic. When we go to the circle phase, we kind of look at the meta stuff. We do the entanglements, and right now we've got on the Capuletti family we have three entanglements marked. And because you're an established family, that means that worse things can happen. So I'm going to roll 2d6 and I'm going to add 3 to it. So that is a 12. So what, Evander, what has been stolen from the Capuetti family?
Ooh.
Is it a person? Is it an object? Is it a location? Is it an office? Is it a concrete magical
I
item?
I think one of our trusted men has very suddenly been taken to the side of Montecchi. A betrayal.
Absolutely. Uh, I think that you will uh, Val will come back to the sword school, and I think you will look and you will find a note, and Lark says, "I am so sorry, but there are certain offers that cannot be refused. I hope that you will find your path in the future." Um,
Betrayal.
and I think that the general is furious. Probably the first time we've seen them on screen in a bit, and it's definitely Captain Mendoza is is angry and probably talks to everyone and gets calls Val on the floor and did you know anything was going on? How did you not see this? Blah blah blah. And is just absolutely enraged in the course of this. But then you probably fall off of her radar because she's a little disorganized and probably loses track of who she's yelled at and who she hasn't yelled at in the course of this.
Might
But
get yelled at twice for the
yeah,
same thing.
but it's not great. Like that's kind of a significant thing, and word will go around the the city that the sword, one of the key sword masters of House Capuletti has defected to Montecchi. So that's our entanglement. That kind of sets up some things to have in play the next time. The next thing that we do is we do a gathering. And basically, I want you to imagine that this is a gathering of the family, of the senior people and the three important people, our general and our boss, and our major domo, our executive there. Um, Giselle, uh, do you think we're going to see a family dinner, or is the family gathered at an amateur sporting event, or is it there's been a performance of a play, or a wine tasting?
I
what
like a
is
wine
the
tasting.
okay? So this takes
At a
place,
vineyard.
yeah, one of the vineyards that's owned, one of our locations for the Capuletti family, that
Hmm.
everyone has traveled out to the vineyard. There are torches amongst the vines, tables are laid out, beautiful cheeses, crackers, everything have been
And some
set out.
bruschetta.
Absolutely fresh tomatoes cut, beautiful balsamic, and wine has been flowing around. Um, and Giselle, what do you think you see you doing? Who are you talking to? What do we is it one of the inner circle people? Is it another key NPC? Like we're going to go around and we're going to kind of check in with everybody about what.
I think you know, I think if it's okay uh with names, Evander, that she's sitting next to Giles is sitting between her and Evander, and she's helping Giles. So I'm like, no, 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 you hold it like this and take your time with the wine, sip,
Love it.
hold it, sniff it. Why do we do this? Because we're supposed to. Cat.
Uh, and let me ask you this: in the talk and so on, what do you think? Who do you think is pleased by recent events? Like, the whole thing that had gone on, or displeased by recent events? We kind of check in on the vibe here, and I'll start with you, Giselle, and then I'll come to Lysandros.
Feel like, um, as in like the betrayal? I feel like a lot of
But like
people.
all the recent events, the events at the carnival, the
Okay.
kidnapping, Gino, Val's restoration, the fine duels, all of those things.
I think our major domo is a bit pleased with events.
And we'll come over and we'll sit with you, and we'll say, so I have to understand, if I may speak, if I may.
I mean,
You will stop me if I may not. That
you are my superior, so
We do not stand on ceremony in these kinds of things. Another
okay.
glass, please. I do want to say, uh, 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 in the future, it might be a good thing to tell your superiors ahead of time of your gambits. I expect it was more spur of the moment. That's why you could not inform someone. Is that correct?
Of course, sir. Of course.
Good, 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 good. I I hope that these seeds that have been planted will grow into something verdant in the future. You certainly must have some plan in mind.
Of course, of course. And as long as the Montecchis believe our leadership is still upset with Val, then this will work perfectly.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, I'm glad to see that. I am glad to be reassured. Kind of you see his eyes kind of settle on Giles, and you see him, Evander, realizes you're not going to introduce him, and he will stand
Oh,
and bow.
he will introduce. It's only
Oh,
polite.
ah, ah. And this is your cousin from the country?
Indeed.
I
She
see.
was very, very excited about the events, and I do appreciate the family welcoming them into the just for the moment.
Oh, all right, all right. Yep. Yes,
We
yes. Um, and I think again, one of the things is you do have to stop Giles
Yes.
from just eating everything, like to
Mhm.
take in all the sensations and stuff. And you do have to stop her from doing that. And eventually Grana Rossi will say, well, yes, I'll leave you to it then. And
Yes.
Lysandros, who who do we see you talking to? Other guards, the captain, the boss? Like what are you showing us about the feeling in the house right now with the entanglement or recent events?
Who would know how to make poison?
Tell me, I think that there has to be a spy master for the house, right?
No, we have to create them now.
Yeah. Essentially, um, you will go and find the spy master. Are they male or female?
Uh, let's go with female.
Female. All right. So you will go and they always go to these events, but they tend to keep to themselves. Nobody shares drinks with them. They do sit there. You go over and speak with her. Let us say her name is Fibonacci. And she looks up at you. Her eyes are like shark eyes from all of the substances and poisons and things that she has tasted over the years. And she wears a veil so as not to cause discomfort to other people. And she will speak with you very pleased, Master Lysandros. How can I help you? You have something you need from me? I hope it is something that you need from me.
Yes, the upcoming dueling for her exaltedness.
Yes, yes, a public
I'm
contest. Yes, yes, yes.
I'm hoping to injure one of the Montechi before they even enter the ring.
Do you want them hobbled? Do you want them incontinent? Do you want them writhing in pain? Do you want them dead?
I think they will cause each other death. So merely something to paralyze them for a minute or so.
Tell me, with such a thing, how do you think you would be able to deliver it? Because that will shape my preparation. A pinprick of a needle, a bit of something in a drink, a glancing touch, a kiss, any of these things I can do. Just tell me.
Something I can apply on their weapon on the fly.
Hmm.
Perhaps an ointment.
Yes,
Ointment.
yes. It will need to be a particularly soft liquid so you can easily pour it in and have the venom affix itself to the blade. I can do that. I can do that. Um, how detectable after the fact do you want it? Not detectable at all? Or do you want it to appear that they have done this paralytic themselves? I can make it more or less clumsy. It all depends on that.
Let it be a common one so that
All
it
right.
does not have a signature of our house.
Excellent. I can certainly do this for you. I'll
And
just need a drop of your blood.
of course, as many as you need.
Oh, good. And she'll pull out like a little vial and a tiny knife, and she'll say, "Give me your finger."
Lysandra gives her whole hand.
Okay. And she will fill the vial and doesn't do anything to staunch the flow, just takes the vial and she says, "I will have it for you before the gathering."
And Lysandra just licks her hand to heal it.
Very nice. Uh, let's come to Evander. What else do we see about the reaction to what's gone on, to the relationships between the bosses, to other characters on screen? What do you think?
I think the relationship between our big three, as it were, is a bit tense. I think the captain has been more unmanageable than usual in the light of Lark's defection.
Hmm.
I don't think it's caused problems outside the house, but I do think that Major Domo and the Baron, they're both principled men. I think she's running her mouth about Lark, filthy traitor, this, that, the other thing. And I think the other two think it's beneath her at this point.
Yes, certainly Baron Ventura is like, you need to stifle this before we go in to the display. You need to calm yourself. Yeah, it definitely like who does Evander mostly like report to? Is it the Baron or is it the Major Domo? What do you think your kind of role in the house is?
Going based off of the inner circle relationships, his highest is with the Major Domo.
Okay. Uh, are you the most senior mage, or is there another mage? And what are they like if there is another one?
I think they're, well, if we're not counting Sister Illuminata,
Right, right, right. Aside from her
yes.
her religious freakiness.
I think there is another mage. I don't think it's someone Evander has met. I think it is a personal spy of one of the three.
Okay. Uh, so I do think that the major domo will take you aside afterwards and will say, "Is there anything I need to know about your country, cousin?"
He kind of smirks and says, I see my missive to you might have gotten misplaced in the among the party invitations.
There has been all kinds of chaos, and I am certainly behind. I'm a correspondent. So, what is it you need to tell me?
He uh will very quickly explain. No details. This is the I think it's clear that this is a fey of great importance that Evander volunteered some time to guard while she is in this plane.
Play a dangerous game, Evander.
Perhaps.
Let
It's
us. And your end goal with this?
honestly, sir, it was not uh it was a twist of sorts. It's not a request I expected to get. I'm seeing where it may lay.
He reaches out his hand and he puts it on your shoulder and he says, "This is the kind of talk I expect from Valencia, not from you."
He looks ashamed for a brief moment.
Well, I trust you will take the utmost care.
Absolutely. And we will back to our usual business at and he'll give the specific time when Giles is set to go.
Good, good. If you need any resources to maintain the protection of our guest, just say and I will have them provided.
He nods.
And Valencia, let's finish up with you here. What do we see of you in this gathering? What do we know about the interactions between the inner circle and the rank and file, or how people are reacting to Lark's vanishing, or something else? What do we want to see from you in this scene?
Hmm. I was already chewed out by Mendoza for I swear I didn't know. I just spoke to them. So that's already happened. Probably Valencia's trying to um help the captain settle down a little bit.
Okay,
And like
how are you doing that? Like, how are you trying to bring our general down to earth to calm them?
Um, you know, I feel like she's leading her around to the food that's here and the look at the our house is in a great state in this regard. Just pointing out the many successes of the other members of the house that we should not forget to appreciate.
And how successful do you think Valencia would be at that? I like the
Eh,
50-50.
yeah,
I think that while you might not get the captain calmed down, I think you will get appreciative looks from the Baron and the Major Domo that you are taking the time to do that. Does that seem reasonable?
definitely. She's taking one for the team.
Yeah. So let me talk. We're not going to do it, but I want to talk about what the next mechanical steps would be in the circle phase, just so you know. There would be a kind of a check-in about everybody's relationships with the different inner circle people, and we might add or subtract dice for your relationships. There would be a scene kind of we play out of the inner circle themselves, which would allow us to kind of choose one of them, and they could add a new contact or a new landmark or a new asset to the family. Uh, One of the other things that we haven't gotten into is the family has a number of claims. These are places like we've got on the sheet when you see the Capuletti family, we have like the stronghold and we've got the fairy ring. There would be other
Mhm.
claims that we have, like maybe a separate sword school or this vineyard or things like that. And paragons would be assigned to them,
Mm.
to show that they're kind of partially responsible for them, and they might get moved around depending on how things go. That's one of the little mechanical things you do. Or if we found a new claim, you might get added to that. So those are kind of some of the other big scale things that would go on. But I want to frame up our epilogues here. Since we're kind of at the end, I want to give you a chance, everybody, to talk short term, long term. Of course, the big scene that we're going to see is there is a grand gathering. Her Exaltedness, Monica de Albain, is the royalty of the island, their family above all, the noble line of D'Aubain. She has a couple of children, but Cheryl D'Aubain has just come of age, her 16th birthday, and she needs a sword master. And this is also a ball of all the various noble houses and things like that. So I want to give everybody a chance to do an epilogue moment in this scene, and then I'm going to come back around and ask like a little bit longer down the road here. So let me go ahead and start that with Lysandros. I think Lysandros, tell me what do we see for you that you've set up that goes on in this gathering and this demonstration of sword play and ball and so on. What is the bit that you definitely want to show on screen here?
Uh, so the scene that she wants to be in will be a little bit before then because
Okay.
Alessandros wants to cause a duel between Riga and Gino. But before then, she wants to mock fight one of them to
Okay.
also make them underestimate to play up the Valencia's loss, saying
Okay.
that this is why um, this is Lark's
Apprentice.
sword
Okay.
stance,
Yeah.
like
So yeah,
trying to make them suspect Lark is not on their side,
yeah. You undercut Lark, you do some play on that.
and
Uh,
then have a chance to like put the poison on one of their swords.
so who is it that you want to be paralyzed? Is it Gino or is it Riga.
Uh, Unfortunately, it's gonna be Riga,
Okay, you want Gino to be up
the
there to be
one
humiliated.
to be accused of cheating.
Absolutely. And there will be a gasp as Riga gets paralyzed in this fight and falls. And uh, uh,
And then Gino will go to, if he is still selected for the duel for the Duchess, he will be the one chosen.
yes, I think that the Montecchi definitely cover it over, like they pull that aside, but there's definitely scuttlebutt. No one's saying it openly, but it will go around, and Gino will be called out. You will hear later that Riga does not fully recover from it. That she ends up with one of her arms paralyzed and a burning desire to kill Gino. Uh, let's come to uh, our analyst, to Evander. What do we want to see this in this scene in this ball? What is the moment we see the epilogue for you in this?
I think we see that he's taken the major domo's words to heart a little bit. And as long as Giles is here, he is using them as an excuse almost to go around and speak to and meet with a bunch of different people. And he is gathering as much information, threads, gossip as he can. He's turned this into a little spy master mission for himself, and he has a great distraction.
Absolutely, uh, because uh, when Giles sets her mind to it, she is enthralling, if confusing,
Mhm.
and yes, we will see you gathering up the pieces and the threads around there. Excellent, Valencia. What do we want to see for your scene in this?
Oh, well. So is Lysandros cinched the representing Capuletti's here, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All
Gino
right.
Gino is the person who is going to stand for the Montecchi in the demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
Do you make sure to have that fight?
Um, yes, I think.
And what happens? Tell me what happens.
Um, well, I think she's probably since talked to Giselle about what the scheme was supposed to be. I'm like, oh, that's smart. Maybe that actually would have worked. We can play with that. So, I think really leaning into like acting like I'm not as skilled in the first like half of it to tire him out. Um,
Absolutely. He's already angry and upset by what has happened earlier, and he has all of this pressure from his family, and he's humiliated you once before, so he does come on hard and exhausts himself. And then,
and then I I strike him right off his feet in like a single kind of move.
absolutely, like knocked down, humiliating kind of strike.
Yeah, yeah, like it actually wasn't any effort for me at all, and then I make a big dramatic bow.
Of course, and there is applause from a
hmm
good chunk of the room,
Yeah,
even
I go.
even some of the Montecchis, Riga supporters who are glad to see Gino just absolutely humiliated on that. And
hmm
he will be forced to crawl away, and he will look up at you, and you know that all that he wants in this world from this point forward is to kill you.
Yeah.
And Giselle, what do we see of you in this gathering?
So I think like Giselle's about to approach Paulina with the book, and then like as she gets within like, I don't know, 10 feet, she does like, nope, can't handle it, turn around. But like I imagine Val's like, no, get
No,
back in there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Turning
You like
Giselle
force it,
around.
you probably forcibly guide her back right into Paulina. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
I yeah, just real awkward.
And I imagine that there's also now that, I mean, throwing the flowers up in the stand, that's very easy. But now she's face to face with you. And I imagine
Mhm.
that there's a brief, like, uh, late, lady, just Giselle.
Maestra Paulina, I thought you might enjoy this.
Uh, I like books.
Th- They are a good escape.
Yes, I can read,
I
not just a swords. Bit.
um,
Mm, mm.
well then I hope you enjoy this.
Yes. Um,
Uh,
perhaps we could read together
dance?
sometime,
Oh,
or
yeah,
or
read.
dance, or we could do that as well. Either one. Yes. And I think we
Perfect.
cut away on that. Lysandros, after this, going forward, what is our long-term, down the road epilogue we want to see of Lysandros? Near future, long future, what is it you want to put on screen?
Um, so whenever Lysandra probably will hear about uh Giselle and Master Polina, will tease her once in a while. Every time she sees them together, she will start monologuing maybe something from the plays that Giselle enjoyed or from the book itself, like acting out as a monologue, like by herself, like playing two roles,
Nice. Nice. See a little bit of relaxation from
and
Lysandros.
just wink at her when she's done.
Nice. Uh, Evander, what what do we see? What's a scene we see from your future, from your epilogue here?
I think we see a few months down the line, it's things have kind of settled from the last arc that we just witnessed, and I think it's time for the Phantom Market to kind of come back to a head in this. That please do not step.
I'm here.
Yeah, I told you she's usually naughty. Uh, and I think he's not quite preparing for it, but in his correspondence, there is a note of warning that someone from Oberon's court is coming in with the market.
Ooh, nice. Nice. We see that seal and the marker for the court there. Excellent. Valencia, what do we see you long-term epilogue?
I think probably she's learned to lean on the skills of her allies, and she wants to do something about the Lark defection, and is probably going to go to Evander about scheming to turn him into a double agent um, in the long term, and also probably uh, having to field off attacks from Dino
Yes.
whenever he gets
We
the
see at least
chance.
one shot of the two of you fighting on the top of a cliff,
Oh yeah,
in the
definitely.
rain, lightning coming down.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Excellent.
Hmm.
Excellent. And Giselle.
I think like yeah, Giselle has been squiring a lot for Valencia, but is like, all right, who are you into? Because I gotta help you out now. Keeps trying to set Val up as like this person? No, okay.
I think Val is very fickle about this.
The worst. The
Excellent.
best friend.
I
Best
like
friends.
we see you matchmaking there to the end. That is excellent. So that's this. We got a two shot. We got some tales of these characters in here. I do want to go around and do a quick round of stars. Just anything you want to throw out about the play, about characters, anything that you want to throw out before we wrap up. I do want to say thank you so much for going along and playing with this. I enjoyed this kind of like fun free play, just goofing with these characters, getting a chance to interact with NPCs. Uh, it's the kind of shit I love. Like that's really much very much my jam, and I loved what everybody brought to it. So much fun. Brushman, anything you want to shout out to?
I I loved your very quick characterization of NPCs, but I think it's from years of experience playing all kinds of quirky characters, like moment instantly recognizable or distinguishable, let's say. And
Thank you.
the the deal with the Fairy Queen was a surprise. That was a huge surprise. And you were playing, yes, and very well. Cat.
Oh yeah, Cat was great with that. That was really a dynamite bit. I
Like
love
it
when
was
people set
planned.
up that kind of. I love when people set up those kinds of wild things. It was
Oh
really good.
yeah, it's the best kind of twists
That's my
when we
jam.
we come up with in the moment.
Yeah. Um, I love the stuff you had for Lysander too. Like Lysander's, it was really good. The character felt strong, and I like the little bit of swerve and change that you did with Lysandra. So good stuff. Um,
I was gonna say like Lissandro's gonna yell at Giselle to when they were giving each other gifts or something. But I figured it's not the right moment.
okay.
Val's lucky rolls. I mean, why Laura's
Yeah,
lucky rolls?
very good.
And the whole meet cute.
Yeah. Kat, anything you want to give shout out to Star Wars wise?
Uh, I want to go back to the not quite top of the session, but the Paragon phase where we saw Giselle and Lysandros going to that play and Giselle not realizing it was the worst play. That was so, so funny.
Yeah, great setup.
And shout out to even though like we didn't see all of that gala and sword fighting, I loved what Lysandros and what Val were doing. Very cool, even though we spent like not a lot of time with it. It great culmination of the arc and also just a rad thing to do in that sort of situation.
Yeah,
Lots of good stuff here. I'm also echoing everything that's been said before.
awesome. Awesome. Well, Laura.
Yeah, some of these things that have been said, I literally wrote down under my little potential stars thing here. Like I love that scene with Lysandros and Giselle and just the if it can be surveying the scene. No, it's not. That's the point. Also Giselle going, "You got chomped on real good." Being like, "No, it wasn't that bad. It was nothing. It was I'm that was incredible. I really liked the twist with Evander. I felt like it fit really good with the character, and it just like flowed out to this nice little subplot. Really, really cool. And I liked Evander's lie about that being his cousin,
Yes.
because it was not. No one was buying it, and it's wonderful. Yeah, really incredible NPC work. I really like the Major Domo, Spy Master, and Paulina, especially very strong. Oh, I put down quotes here, but mainly it's just Lysandros going stage combat is not deadly enough.
Yes.
Yeah, and the action scenes are really fun. This is a great, a fun like system to do that in
Hmm.
cinematically. It's cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Awesome. And Jolene.
What can I say that hasn't been said? I mean, yeah, look, everybody's great. Your NPC is incredible. The pictures are always great. Yeah, Lysandra, I'd be like, yeah, no, I just quote one of the scenes they cut out of the play. I'm like, what? Evander's like, hey, what? I didn't want to tell Giles about the gala yet, but I guess we could do that. And freaking Val just plopping down right next to him and just like, what is going on? This is you're not supposed to be, you're not allowed to know about this. And he's like, I got your back. It's like, well, I guess we're best friends now.
Yeah, all good stuff. I had a really good time tonight. It was great fun. I am going to stop the recording. Doo, doo, doo.